You're watching Chat Schmat, and yes, it's time for a little experiment for us. We're doing a reaction video, except this time we're not in shot. We don't have our faces in the image. But we're giving it a go. We hope you like this. It's just a little experiment, and it's Christmas, and we're going to be reacting to, in this first of a two-part reaction, we're going to be reacting to That's Showbusiness, a BBC panel quiz from the 1980s and 90s. So join us for this Christmassy edition of Chat Schmat Reacts.
Oh, Merry Christmas!
It's Christmas again, and Neil, let's see what you're wearing, Neil. You're a joker. What a joker Neil is wearing that. Welcome everybody. It's another edition of Chat Schmat, and I'm by the cozy fireside here, and it's Christmas. Yes, it's me, Johnny Porter, and
Neil Stringer. And doesn't this feel like yesterday's this was last Christmas?
Christmas, honestly, it was I don't want to say the bleakest Christmas because it wasn't quite like that, but for the first time, I did not spend Christmas with my family. So I spent it in my house by myself. Now, I did do the old video calling, but other than that, I was at home. This year will be different, of course. Everyone's vaccinated, and we're able to do a bit more traveling. So, speaking of family, I got this Christmas card from one of our viewers/subscribers. I don't know if you can see that. It's a lovely one there, isn't it? Very, very nice. Mm-hmm. And it says, it's just a very sort of glittery type one, but it says there's a message on the back. And I'll read it out to you if I may. And it just says, "Merry Christmas. I hope you choke. I'm unsubscribing. Your show is a joke. Love, Auntie Peg." So that's a nice one there. I'm just going to set that on the fireside. And, that's what happens whenever you have smart aleck relatives. But in today's episode, it's a double whammy, Neil, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. You can say that again.
We've got a Noel Edmonds and Mike Smith sandwich.
Never did I think I see Noel Edmonds and Mike Smith in the same package.
Indeed. Two Radio 1 DJs that went on to have a successful television career. And in actual fact, for, I guess, the older viewers, although I don't know what our average age range is, but if you're like me and relatively old, you'll remember the Late Late Breakfast Show, which was Noel Edmonds' Saturday night television series, where part of it was they did stunts, and Mike Smith was the kind of roving reporter on that show who, followed the people doing the stunts and reported on that.
It's not the one where it got cancelled because a member of the public died and did a stunt.
There was a man died on that, and but the show itself was a bit like Noel's House Party. They had the gotchas, but they called them the Golden Egg Awards. But it was the same thing. It was gotchas. And then, that was a kind of career killer almost, if you'll pardon the expression, for Noel, because he just felt really bad. But he did come back with a sort of a different show called Saturday Roadshow. Yeah, that was it. Which is much more like House Party. It's kind of one of those shows. It was a mishmash of that and Noel's House Party, which eventually it became. But Noel Edmonds was king of Saturday night on BBC One for many years. But in addition to that, he had another show called Tele Addicts, which featured members of the public who applied to be on the show, and then they it was usually like family against a family or that kind of thing, but they had team names anyway. And they would come on and they would be asked questions and shown clips about TV shows from not just the BBC, but, the other networks as well. And they would answer questions and win prizes or win points anyway. And the Christmas ones, though, had celebrities coming on and playing. And the other show that we're going to watch is very, very similar to Noel's House, very similar to Tele Addicts, except that it covers films and theatre and other stuff as well. And that one's called That's Showbusiness, and it was hosted by Mike Smith. Now, they're very similar shows, very similar in tone, but the difference being that That's Showbusiness was not members of the public. And it was Kenney Everett was a team captain, and Gloria Hannaford, who, of course, comes from Northern Ireland. But yes, that was that show. And
I met Gloria Hannaford once. I talked to her about board games.
You bored her to death?
No, it was actually for the BBC CSV course. She was in Thai, and I thought, why not get her to do a talk about my the documentary I chose to do about board games, and she taught me Scrabble. I think Gloria Hannaford's one of those people you can ask her about anything.
The thing about the show was that they would bring in, different actors and things who were the sort of flavor of the month or whatever. But one of the people that used to pop up on there was Lily Savage, aka Paul O'Grady. And now, I mean, the actual live act of Lily Savage was quite adult, but I mean, I guess that was like let's just put this with the tone of Lily Savage's act and the tone of that, very light entertainment BBC show really did not match. But Paul O'Grady seemed to find a way for that character to, come through.
The slightly more discreet hairstyle next to Jill belongs to Birkenhead's answer to Vivienne Westwood.
Hit Novak, if you don't mind. Vivienne Westwood designs club flocks that look like a tea bag and 2 nettles, and I wouldn't be seen dead in them.
I don't know how you found the time to be here, because there's only 2 shoplifting days before Christmas. Lily Savage!
But the character Lily Savage, she's not in this episode tonight. But these are both from the same year, both from 1980. So Let's Party Like It's 1989. But we are going to. I know the people that are in the episodes because I made a note of them just so I could give you some information about them. But other than that, I haven't seen these episodes since they aired. It's not. Let's face it, they're not the sort of show that really gets repeated very much, if at all. I mean, I don't even think they show them on Challenge. I haven't watched Challenge in a long time, but I know they did. They did try to do a new Tele Addicts without Noel Edmonds, but it was like,
without Noel Edmonds jumpers, it's not the same.
No, it's one of those ones. I don't know if was it Justin E. Collins or somebody like that. It was way back, a good few years ago. They tried to do like a new version and they vamped up the theme, and I think an Noel Edmonds company made it, but it was just not the same. It just was a bit cheap looking, Well, not that the show itself had a grand budget or anything, but we shall see when we get in there. But I just wanted to fill the viewers in on the kind of thing that we're going to be watching tonight, and I want to also wish the viewers a Merry Christmas, and I hope that you're having a good one this year, because as Neil mentioned earlier, and as I was talking about, it's been tough in terms of trying to have a normal Christmas over the COVID time.
Then again, what is normal Christmas, Johnny?
That's show business.
It is, isn't it?
Hey, boy!
Oh.
enthusiasm. Such enthusiasm after all that turkey. Welcome to the holiday edition of That Show Business. Back for just this one more show in 1989, and the BBC have spared no expense at all to add to the festive jollities. That's the one we can pass it on to Wogan for next week now. First of all, the lady who knows a lot more about show business than she does Greek philosophy, Gloria Hannaford.
She's got all the 80s on her.
I know. I don't know, clothes there.
He really knows how to make a girl feel good. At least I could say the gods have been good to me this Christmas. Guess what I got in each of my stockings? An Adonis. A leftover from Christmas, perhaps? Peter Howard.
He's the original Joey from Brad. And Michael Ball.
And as Kenney
Jeez, does that make a ball?
lose this game, you could say the ball is in our court. Michael Ball!
Look how young and thin he is.
Yeah.
And on the other side, or as he keeps saying, the winning side, underneath the team captain who knows showbiz backwards, and he can say it as well, it's Zibwoz, Kenney Everett.
I think this year the BBC spent all the budget for the show on that whizzy thing that you just used, because have you read the line I've got as an intro? The line they gave me is that this is out of a...
This is your ad-lib, is it?
Did you hear... I mean, it doesn't even say hello, folks. Did you hear about the hyena who fell in a vat of boiling water and made a laughing stock of himself? I knew I should have bought more expensive crackers. On my winning team today, two ladies who like a challenge, Nicola Paget and Annika Rice.
Good.
First challenge, Annika.
Annika Rice hasn't
As
changed
they
a
say,
bit, has
it's a
she?
season of goodwill and kindness to all men.
Oh, yeah?
I have a scene from a recently released video coming up for you in which somebody is attempting to work out their poll tax.
Ray, can we try something?
Yeah.
Do you know how much 312 times 123 is?
38376.
He's right.
What?
He's right.
He's right?
Yeah.
Dustin Hoffman's co-star in Marathon Man for 2 points.
Lawrence Olivier.
Well done, yes. Laurence Olivier it is.
Nicola Paget was in a bit of a do with David Jason at this time.
2 more points for this. In 1970,
sadly, she
Olivier
died
played a
earlier
role
this
on
year.
stage that Dustin Hoffman also undertook during 1989. What was the role and the play?
Shylock, Merchant of Venice.
Shylock, Merchant of Venice, maximum points for Nicola Paget.
Think about it, prejudice so irrelevant to the clip.
The dainty gauntlet is laid before him now. Peter Howitt. For Gloria Hannaford's team, we have just seen Raymond Babbitt. Now here comes Roger Rabbit.
Get out of here, get me some money too.
2 people supplied the voices for Jessica Rabbit. Now, the singing was done by an actress who had a connection with Steven Spielberg. Do you know her name?
Amy Erling, wasn't it?
Her name wasn't was it?
No, it wasn't her.
And it was Kathleen Turner did the other voice.
Yeah, Kathleen Turner was speaking voice, wasn't she?
I know it might have been.
I know, you're just cleaning his ears, Gloria.
Amy Irving.
Amy Irving is correct, yes. Now,
Whoever she might be.
there she is. The speaking voice of Jessica Rabbit was supplied by the actress who starred in, amongst other things, Body Heat.
I don't know the answer to these.
What a movie to
I
pick.
think I know again that it might be.
Is that Jill and Al?
Kathleen Turner.
Kathleen Turner, yes. Yeah. Maximum point.
Of Body Heat fame.
Very
I can see
similar,
it
wasn't she?
was without the sort of help that was over there. Do you recognise this man?
It's him.
It's not Steve
Who is it?
Martin, actually. No. It's a man called Lenny Henry, whoever he is. That's who it is.
Do you agree with that, Annika?
I say Kenney, I don't even know what he's talking about, but I'd say that was Steve Martin.
You'd say that was Steve Martin?
It certainly doesn't look like Steve
Have a
Martin.
look.
Lenny was winding up.
This, of course, this is a team game. It's all about teamwork, this contest.
Oh, I'm overcome.
Lenny Henry there, being made up as Steve Martin for his video Lenny Live and Unleashed. And thinking of the chasm into which you have just fallen, who could this be? Now, I'll give you a clue. Chat show host, not Derek Jameson.
I'm not helping her.
It's Wogan.
Famous chat show host, yes. Any ideas at all? What time's the play go?
I don't recognise you.
Oh, yeah. Could be Jonathan Ross.
You're warming up your seat. You're welcome.
Well, he's trying to have his own team member.
I knew I shouldn't have done this.
Chat show. God, everybody.
Everyone's got a
I
chat
think a
show.
bonus point dropping in the way of
Ross?
Michael.
Jonathan Ross! Let's have a look. Yes, Jonathan Ross it is.
She already said that.
You really think Kay was going to shout her own team
Here,
member?
as we go to the glorious team, Michael Ball. Some music for you, Michael, because you like this sort of thing.
Love it.
I turn the lights and think about you, or am I losing?
That was on the Monster Hits album.
And the kids, don't try that one at home, please. Now, when Annika got it wrong, it was a rice-up. When you get it wrong, I don't quite know what we're going to call it. Okay, maximum points for Michael Ball. And Kenny, 3 photographs for you coming up. Can you identify the people and find a nominal link between them?
Oh, yes.
Oh, Batman. Keaton.
Oh, Michael Keaton's real name's Michael.
It's Michael Douglas, isn't it?
Name the stars,
And
please.
he took the name Diane Keaton.
Diane Keaton is the first photograph.
Yes.
Then there was Michael Keaton, who has the same name as Diane Keaton.
Yes.
They're both Keatons. And then Michael Douglas was the last one, and both of the middle one and the last one are 2 Michaels. So you've got Keaton and Michael in common.
God, that's
Is that the connection? I'll give you 1 point
Michael
for that.
Douglas.
Is that not right?
I'll give
Michael Keaton's real
point will
name's
come
Michael
to you
Douglas.
Yeah.
if you can tell me the proper link between those names.
Well, they're all on the screen at the moment.
Keaton's where he took the name from.
Saying that Michael Keaton's real name is Michael Douglas. As there was already a successful Michael Douglas, he changed his surname by borrowing Diane Keaton.
Why are our questions more difficult than their questions?
If you've just tuned in, that's Showbusiness, still struggling its way through round 1 at the moment, so you haven't missed much. Gloria, it is in your contract, as I know, that at least one question must feature a hunky dreamboat of a man.
Ooh.
And here he comes. Watch very closely.
Right. You go your way, I shall go mine. But we'll be together all the same.
Bullshit galore.
You are me. I am you. We are one.
Goodbye, Kompronsky.
I accept my suffering.
What
I don't ask for anything else.
What's her space?
don't tell me
As Hunniford got there on her there.
Gloria, no marks for recognising Sean Connery there.
Who would ever send him away?
But can you name his
Good answer,
leading lady?
students. Had a
And
field
do you
day
know
there.
the play, which was based on a Tolstoy novel?
What was he saying about easy questions? No, we know it was Claire Bloom.
Claire Bloom,
Beautiful
correct.
lady.
Yes,
and
give me
it
a point for
was,
that.
and it's Anna Karenina. It's a bit like Edward Woodward. Anna Karenina.
That will do.
Is that
2
right?
points. Let's go back to Sean Connery now. Which part of Sean Connery's body does he insist is always covered up in his films?
He's an awful spoil sport. He likes his tattoo
He
covered
likes his
up, and his
tattoos covered
tattoo
up.
is not in the place where Oliver Reed has his.
Are you going to show us the exact part of the body?
I
where it
couldn't,
is?
but Michael could.
Okay. No, it's arms, isn't it, you were going to say?
I was, yes, because
Yeah.
tattoos on his arm.
Yeah, you're quite right. You get full marks on that, Gloria.
Oh, good.
Now we're at the end of round 1.
After all that.
Kiss. A very, very birthday.
To me?
To you.
Yes, this is the cartoon version of Challenge Annika. Actually, the Disney version of Alice in Wonderland. Now, in
My
1966,
eyes,
the BBC
my eyes.
production was directed by a medical
That coach is
practitioner
right.
who went beyond the fringe. BBC
Oh,
production
it's that
of Alice...
man. He's done everything. He directs opera and everything. Jonathan Miller.
He's had a chat show as well. Jonathan
Yes.
Miller. And now, can you recognise the man playing the caterpillar in an American television version of the same story?
Lenny Henry.
Oh, it's a man actually we're thinking about very much.
Yeah.
It is Sammy Davis Jr.
Sammy Davis Jr. it is, yes. So that starts round 2 off with maximum points for you. We go to Captain Ken on t'other side. In 1960, 2 young men made a travelogue about holidays in the Lake District. They took part in a barn dance. If you watch very carefully, a question follows this.
That's not a move.
That was an acid house party in the 1960s. And getting down there were 2 young lads. Who were they?
Is it Dimbleby's son? Is it Dimbleby's son?
2 points, both of them. David and Jonathan Dimbleby. Yeah. Yeah. Take a look at this and we'll prove the point.
I think you met my father. You never met me.
Mr. Dimbleby.
How do you do? Yeah. My brother Jonathan.
How are you?
Hey. Yes, meeting.
Brother Jonathan,
Now, 2 more points. Which radio programme, Ken, connects Jonathan Dimbleby, David Jacobs and Franklin Engelman?
Oh, that marvellous programme. Any questions?
Any questions? Maximum points for Kenny Everett again. Michael Ball, can you continue the 100%ers? All together now. We're all going on a summer holiday.
Can we sing that properly, please, Michael?
12.
No.
Do, 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 do. Over to you, Michael. Do, 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 do. We're all going on a summer holiday. No more worries for a week or 2.
Don? Thanks again for everything, Mr. Rightmore. We'll be back as soon as we can.
Good. I've had a lot of requests from tourists who'd like to make this trip with you.
Well, you can tell them that double-decker tours will be ready for business in about 2 weeks' time. Till then, we're going to have the holiday we started out to have.
Good luck, Don.
Hey, my name's Cliff.
Now, the question is, Michael, can you name the men at the extreme left and right of the screen? Yeah.
Well, it's Hank Marvin.
On the right.
On the
Yes, yes.
Big
And on the
Richard
left.
fan, so I've seen the
What's his name?
Bruce Welsh, yeah.
Bruce Welsh, yeah. The other 2 are Brian Bennett and Brian Licorice Locking.
Oh, Brian Licorice.
Dear old Brian.
And as we know, Cliff and the Shads finished their summer holiday in Athens. But when Rick Mayall and the young ones set off on a bus on their summer holiday, where did they end up?
It's a very tenuous question.
They crashed.
Did they go over a cliff?
Over a
Cliffs
cliff.
of Dover.
Let's have a look.
Look out!
I used to love that show. I actually spent a lot of money doing that.
That was close.
Maximum points for Michael. So we go across to Annika for her round 2 question. Now, you, of course, know from your job the hazards of travel and what it's like to be chased around with a camera pointing at your bottom all the time. But believe me, life could be a lot worse, Annika.
I've seen that bottom.
I think it's my towel they're
I was
looking
in
at
jail.
here. Eventually, I managed to throw off the studio audience, but not Passepartout, who has the cheek to claim he's shooting the sunset. Well, cheek is possibly an unfortunate term, but you know what I mean.
Can you tell me who played Phileas Fogg in the film of the Jules Verne book Around the World in 80 Days?
Wasn't Lenny Henry, was it?
No.
It's a little guy with a moustache, wasn't it?
Little guy with a moustache is the only clue we have so far.
Was he a Greek?
Nicola might know.
No, I don't know David Niven. I don't know who played.
David Niven.
Oh,
David
David
Niven. David Niven is the correct answer, yes.
Oh, right.
Yes.
I don't know the answer.
Well, this is Annika's question. So for part 2, you heard Michael Palin refer to Passepartout, the name he gave to the camera crew there. But who or what was Passepartout in the original story of Around the World in 80 Days?
His manservant.
His manservant is correct, and there he is, David Niven with his manservant, who was played by a Mexican actor called Cantinflas. For those of you who like to... Yes, you might an early version of the thermos flask.
You know the way you made a reference to Anna's bottom? I thought it was a bit sexist, personally.
Well, actually, I bought a present. This is a belated present, actually, for Ken. This is really his Chrissy present, right? So you kind of stick this on the back of your window, and then it goes...
That's a bit much for BBC One.
I wish I'd had a model for that now.
What point of view being on Overload?
We now come to Peter Howitt's question from round 2. Peter, a warning here against taking one of those coach tours that covers 15 countries in 10 days.
Quite right, Michael.
Now, in half a minute, you'll be crossing the Swiss frontier. We are in Switzerland. Now! Switzerland is famous for its mountains, cheese, clocks, and chocolate, nothing else. Open your plastic bags marked Switzerland and you'll find a small piece of chocolate. Eat it up quickly, we're not here long, this is a small country. Wake up, 12, wake up. We've got another capital coming up in a moment. I've warned you all before. If you miss a capital, you do the whole tour again.
Can you guess which 60s television programme, which also featured the two Ronnies that the clip came from?
TW3. Was it TW3? Or the Frost Report?
Bonus? Frost Report.
Frost Report.
Frost Report.
To be honest with you, I was going to say the Frost Report.
All the same era.
Yeah.
Yes, all the Frost Report.
Yeah.
I'll give you 1 point for the Frost Report. Can you remember the title of a film in which John Cleese plays a headmaster who has a terrible journey trying to get to a conference on time?
Clockwise.
2 points for that.
Yeah.
Okay, Nicola. The joys of camping holidays and eating out of doors for you.
It's one of my favourite films.
Keith, no, you always tell me to chew everything 72 times. But I don't think that can be right, because, for instance, you're chewing nuts now, and they have to be chewed 72 times because they're very hard. But earlier on I was eating mushroom, and I only got as far as 31, and it slipped down my throat quite naturally. So it doesn't always have to be 72 times, does it?
The important thing is to use your discretion.
Nicola, can you name either of the actors or the title of the play?
Yes, it's Alison Steadman in Nuts in May by Mike Lee, her husband.
Yes, and the other one was Roger Sloman in there as well.
Right.
So 2 points for that. Now, to go into the lead of the contest, combining the subject of nuts and holidays...
She was in the 70s, upstairs, downstairs as well.
Screened on BBC Two, set in a hotel called the Nut House, created by...
Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks. Do we give them 2 points for Mel Brooks? With or without Mel Brooks. Hasn't quite closed the gap for Kenny Everett's team. Still 1 point back on 22. Gloria still in the lead on 23. Okay, the third round, a chance for you to concentrate here on the television screen and also for our teams to concentrate very hard. This is the montage round. Gloria's team will be going first here. This normally ends up in tears, this particular section of the programme. You're going to see photographs of 5 people and hear a record by the 6th. Now, how many can you identify, and can you find any sort of a link between them all? Here they come.
Try, Michael.
Look at her.
Hello. Robert Wagner. That's Richard Burton, isn't it?
Richard Burton, yes, Richard Burton.
And Melanie Griffiths.
Let's start with face number 1, shall we?
A jolly good place to start. Natalie Wood.
Natalie Wood. Number 2.
John Johnson.
Number 3.
Robert Wagner.
Yes.
Number 4.
Richard Burton.
Richard Burton, yeah.
Number 5.
Melanie Griffith.
Correct.
I've got Melon Griff written here.
And who did you hear?
Well, we thought at the beginning that it might be Jean Simmons from the show, but it's not. We think it's Elizabeth Taylor.
From the film.
You're
From
correct.
the film.
Little Night Music.
Because Natalie Wood was married to Bob Wagner, Don Johnson's married to Melanie Griffith for the 2nd time, And Richard Burton obviously was married to
Elizabeth Taylor for the 10th time.
And that's the link.
Yeah, I can give you that. The specific common factor is they have
They've both
actually
been married twice.
They've both been married twice.
Thank
Yes.
you. I said it before.
Absolutely.
Yes, well done.
And that was written by Stephen Sondheim, and maybe he's been married twice too. I don't know.
Right, we're going on now for bonus points on this.
Well, yes, because his wife was...
Stephen Sondheim was gay.
So that's part, isn't it?
think he actually left
for Gloria's team. Who was Liz Taylor's first husband?
Now think about this carefully, boys.
Eddie
It
Fisher?
was Eddie Fisher.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
No,
No, it wasn't.
Eddie Fisher. Offer it to the other side for a bonus point.
Nicky Hilton.
Nicky Hilton. Yes, well done. Nicola Paget got that. The actress Sarah Miles has been married to a playwright twice. Who is he?
Very famous playwright. Yes, he did. And his name is Robert
Louis
Bolt.
Shakespeare.
Robert Bolt.
Yeah.
Radar training, was it, Pete? Yeah?
Yes.
An Australian star married his wife Nolene twice, but left her for his co-star Linda
Crocodile
Kozlovsky.
Dundee himself.
Paul Hogan.
Played by,
Paul Hogan, yes. And finally, probably the most married film star is Jar Jar Gabor. How many husbands has Jar Jar had, in the literal sense?
Well, of her own or other people's?
Her own husbands to the nearest two.
And she discounts one.
Eight, and she discounts one, we think.
Yeah, to the nearest two. It's actually
I play
9.
charitable football against her husband quite regularly, actually.
Really? Which one?
All of
The whole team?
The whole team, yeah, they've got a team. The
Neither
Gabor, they're called the Gabors.
Well, I don't know what the score was there, but it's Kenny's team's turn now. Look and
I'd like
listen.
you to know that during that round, I gave birth to and brought up quads.
Well, perhaps you'll be having kittens when you see this lot. Take a look.
Billy Tomato.
Tomlin.
Tomlin, yeah. Jeremy Irons.
Is that Melda Staunton?
No. Arnie.
Arnie.
Forget what you call her.
Are you ready?
Yes, we
You are? You're confident on this?
Oh, aye.
Can you take the lead here, Ken?
First face was Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Second one was Lily Tomlin.
Yep. 3.
Third was Jeremy Irons.
4.
Fourth was that woman who did Let's Get Together, yeah, yeah, yeah. We could have a swinging tie.
Haley Mills.
Nothing could be greater, say, hey, alligator. Haley Mills.
Yes. Eventually, yeah.
And the last one was Arnold.
Yes, and you heard...
You are the hair beneath my arms. by the woman who... she was married to Danny DeVito, except she couldn't find him in the morning.
Oh, that was Bette Midler.
I didn't listen, sorry.
There is a connection there, though.
No, but who is she? Who is she?
The hair and the bananas. The palm
I need
tree
the
on the
name.
back of a wheelchair.
I need the name.
Bette Midler.
Bette Midler.
Bette Midler.
Yes.
What's the connection?
God, I wish I knew. I'm asking the question. What is the connection?
Oh, the connection.
Do you know what the connection is, or should we come back to this later on?
Well, that second one, Lily Tomlin, is something to do with Danny DeVito, isn't she?
I don't think you know this. I'm going to offer it as a bonus.
Michael does.
Please,
He
Michael, we
knows
think
it.
we know, Michael.
We know,
The
yeah.
connection, Michael, is...
Twins. Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger played twins. Lily Tomlin and Bette Midler played twins together. Jeremy Irons has played twins, and Haley Mills played twins.
Clever boy.
A bonus point has to be. Who played the twins in the film called Twins?
Arnold Schwarzenegger. And Danny DeVito.
Yes. In which movie did Lily Tomlin and Bette Midler play twins?
Oh, Schwitz or Schwatz.
Twins.
No, it was some little word.
Oh,
Fizz, Faz, Foz.
Yeah.
Shavuth.
How about Big Business?
Big Business.
Big Business, yes, 1 point to me. In which film... In which film did Jeremy Irons play both twins?
Oh, they were dentists, weren't they? They were dentists, so it's got to be a joke on teeth.
Faces? No?
Fillings?
Come out.
Filling?
Dead ringers.
Dead ringers.
Yeah.
And they were
That's a good film title, Mark. This film, I believe.
In which movie did Hayley Mills play twins? Now, you referred to this earlier on.
Oh, see you later on
The
the
original
Yeah. Parent Trap, yes, well done. I don't know what the points were, but at the end of that round, this is the situation. Kenney has slipped back just a little bit on 39 points and streaking ahead, but she can be stopped yet on 45, Gloria Hannaford.
He can't be stopped.
We come to the scintillating last round. It's all down to the wire on this because either team can win a lot of points here. 30 points on offer for the last round. We'll go to Kenney's team first of all. 15 quick questions coming up. They go to each team member in turn. You get 2 points if you answer your own question, 1 point if you get help. If you don't know the answer, say pass, and we'll move on very quickly.
Why don't you just give all the questions to Michael? What are you doing here, Michael? His Mensa shut.
We start with Kenny Everett's team, and 90 seconds starting with Nicola Paget. Nicola, what was the title of Geoffrey Archer's short-lived play about newspapers?
Exclusive.
Yes. Annika, which film came between Raiders of the Lost Ark and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade?
Temple of Doom.
Yeah, those are Temple
of Doom.
Temple of Doom for 1 point. Kenny, the first British #1 of the 80s was Brass in Pocket. Who made it?
Pretenders.
The Pretenders, correct. Nicola, which major TV series starred Dame Peggy Ashcroft and Tim Pigott-Smith, amongst others?
Jewel in the Crown.
Yes. Annika, who won an Emmy for his stuff?
The Right Stuff.
Could be, but no. No? No? Anybody? Alexi Sale.
Oh, yes.
Kenny, it started on BBC Radio, moved to Channel 4, and is presented by Clive Anderson. What's the programme?
Yeah, Anderson anyway.
Who's Anderson anyway for 1 point? Nicola, your own question. Michael Williams' wife became a dame. Who is she?
Dame Judy.
You have 40 seconds, correct. Michael Jackson made the biggest selling album of the decade. Annika, what's the title?
Bad.
Thriller.
Oh, Thriller. It was bad.
Radio 4, it was a bad answer. Radio 4 introduced a new soap opera about life in Limerick Road. What is it, Kenny?
The Dales.
The Citizens. Nicola, Mary Whitehouse complained about Patrick Malahide showing his bare bum in which Dennis Potter series? Singing Detective, correct. Annika, last Christmas, Cliff Richard had his only #1 in the 80s. What was it?
Mistletoe and Wine.
Yes. Des Lynam presented Holiday 89. Kenny, who presented Holiday 88?
Judith Chalmers.
Frank Boff. Nicola Hayes in 19... It's Gloria's team's turn now. It's 45 points to them at the moment, 53 to Kenny's outfit. So I make it that you've got to get about sort of 9 points in you there, really. Peter, the TV series A Kick Up the 80s was presented by the man who wrote the lyrics to Starlight Express, who is...
Stilgo, Richard Stilgo.
Yes. Michael, Tim Rice wrote 2 musicals in the 80s. One was Chess. What was the other? Blondell's correct. Gloria, in 1980, Peter O'Toole had a disastrous return to the London stage. In which Shakespeare play?
The one you never should say, the Scottish one.
That'll do, yes. I won't mention it. Peter, 122 million Americans watched the last episode of a TV comedy which had run longer than the war it depicted. What?
MASH.
Yes. Michael, John Hurt and Richard Burton starred in a movie based on a book by George Orwell. The title?
Elephant Man?
No, 1984. Who had a hit with Sex Crime 1984?
Oh, Eurythmics.
Eurythmics.
Yeah.
Correct. Peter, which TVAM presenter threw shabbily because she thought she'd been treated shabbily?
Anne Diamond.
Anna Ford, and it was actually Red
Ford, Diamond.
Michael, a Stephen King book became a hit film and then a horror flop as a musical for the RSC.
Carrie.
Carrie is correct. Gloria, in 1982, Channel 4 started, and one of its first hits was the RSC's version of a Dickens novel. Which novel?
The one that went to Broadway, Nicholas Nickleby.
Yes. Peter, which DJ returned to Radio 1 at the age of 61?
Oh, Fluff.
Alan Freeman.
Yes. Timothy Dalton. Michael, starred in 2 James Bond films. One was The Living Daylights, the other?
License to Kill.
Yes, correct.
It actually would have been out that year that was made.
Yeah, I was just going to... It was still the current Bond.
Yeah.
Excellent competition. Good answers and bad answers from both sides, but at the end of the day, it was Gloria Hannaford's team who won. Peter Howitt, Michael Ball, who was tremendous. It's 60 points. The winners.
Even Batman was recent then.
Yeah, Batman, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Distraught.
It's nothing to me.
No. It's just a game, Ken. 53 points. Well done to Nicola Paget, Annika Rice and Kenney Everett.
Yeah.
We wish you a happy rest of festive season. Thank you very much for joining us on That Show Business. Great teams here. I hope some of them will come back and join us for our summer series. We will be back in the summer of 1990. Some more good sportsmanship to come in the next decade. Bye-bye.
I'm not sure how good we are with this whole thing. We haven't even got our faces here, but we will try better for the next time. We've got one more episode to go. We've got Tele Addicts coming up. This is being split into 2 episodes. This theme tune is by Ed Welsh, who did Blockbusters, but the theme tune to this show changed over the years. There was a couple of different versions of the theme, a completely different song. But anyway, this is the very end of this experiment of us capturing the screen.
Back in the room after watching that little sort of time capsule back to the late 80s. So, Neil, what are your thoughts on that, having seen it for the first time in over 30 years?
It's hard to believe it's that long ago, because I think I do remember watching that last Show Business when I was a kid.
Yes, it ran from 19. I was looking up there to see when it was. That was the first series, and then it ran into the 90s. So maybe about 5 or 6 years, something like that. It lasted. So obviously, Kenny Everett, he died so young, didn't he? Indeed, yeah.
But it makes me think. 1989. It was probably that thing supposed to be because it's the big year of Batman came out. I remember the publicity that came out there, and you're thinking, wow, 30 years ago, you just see it in early BBC. You see Michael Ball there, and I've still compared to see how you see him now when he's on the one show or doing a duet with Alfie Bow, and
yes, and just to mention that Nicola Paget, who was in there, I was mentioning she died earlier this year. She was in, as I say, a bit of a do with David Jason that year. We also had Kenny Everett, of course, who's no longer with us, and also Mike Smith, aka Smitty, who also died a few years ago as well. He was famously married to Sarah Green, who was another presenter, and also, I guess, an actor, because she was in a few things. But interesting to see, and obviously remembering those people that were in that show. Peter Howitt, of course, he was the first Joey Boswell in Bread, which was a sitcom about life in Liverpool and a woman with a big family and a cheating husband, by Carla Lane. And he was in it for a couple of years and then left, and they recast him. And so that guy in the show tonight was he was the original actor. I think he left by the stage. He was by the stage this was being recorded.
Actually, I still have to say I love the Gloria Hannaford's hair. Pure 80s, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Before we stop, we have to mention that. My eyes were blinded by her jacket as well. Every time it cut to her, I was like, oh, I can't see. But very, very, middle of the road show, that entertaining, but it isn't sort of,
I guess I forgot how generically bland the theme tune was.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I was looking at the ad there. It was written by Ed Welsh, who did the Blockbusters theme. So he just wrote that one in.
But you can hum Blockbusters is a memorable theme, but then again, every good composer has their off day. Even Hans Zimmer had his off day when he did Doctor Distress.
Well, I just think that it's very Tele Addicts. The whole look of it, it's very Tele Addicts. I mean, not necessarily the set design, but the theme, the opening theme, the way it comes across.
And also the even the way they did the scoreboard, it felt like coming up on
Yes.
on today's show.
Yeah, I know, because that was new technology then to do it that way. But did you enjoy it?
Oh yeah. Now often you get to see the camera, the image get smaller and moving away as the time goes out.
Yeah, and people, just in case you're wondering, this is a special Christmassy little bow, or whatever you want to call it, on my head, just in case you can't tell what that is. But we have another one to react to.
And thanks once again for joining us for this experimental reaction video. Yes, as you can see, we weren't able to get our faces in shot and the audio wasn't as good as we'd hoped. We will try and get that better for next time, but we have got another part to this. We're going to be reacting to Tele Addicts Christmas 1989, and that's coming up soon. The next episode is Chronicles of Narnia, and that's on Christmas Eve, so do join us for that, and you can check all these videos on the playlist for Series 3 of Chat Schmat. Join us then, why don't you? Thanks once again, and a Merry Christmas.